Hello, Scorpio. This is Selena Hart, and your astrologer walking with you through this week's cosmic terrain. I want to speak to you not as someone predicting your future, but as someone who deeply understands the weight of your journey. There is a shift beginning on the 22nd of July that you can't afford to ignore, not because it's loud or dramatic, but because it is steady, foundational, and quietly powerful. The sun is moving into your 10th house, the area of your chart that governs career, recognition, authority, and the long-term legacy you're here to build. This is not just about getting a promotion or launching a new venture, though those things may happen. It's about something much deeper. It's about stepping into the version of yourself that no longer waits for permission to lead. The 10th house is not built overnight, and neither is your purpose. But what begins now is a fire beneath the surface, burning not to consume, but to forge. The sun here illuminates not just opportunities, but responsibilities, because you are now being called to hold more, to carry more weight, and to do so with integrity. Some of you may feel a quiet restlessness, an awareness that the roles you've been playing are no longer big enough for your growth. That feeling is not a problem to fix. It is a signal that you're outgrowing what once fit. If you're still doubting yourself, know this: the sun doesn't ask you to be ready, it asks you to be honest. Honest about your ambitions, honest about your fear of being seen, and honest about what success truly means to you. Over the coming days and weeks, choices will present themselves that require maturity, not perfection. You won't have all the answers yet, and you're not supposed to, but you will have clarity. Little by little, if you're willing to show up consistently and choose the path that stretches you. And Scorpio, you know how to stretch, you know how to endure, how to transform in silence. Let this be a chapter not where you wait for the world to recognize your value, but where you structure your life around the truth that it's already there. I'll be here each step of the way to help you walk through it. And as we continue, Scorpio, I want you to understand what this shift means, not just symbolically, but practically, especially when it comes to your work, your finances, and your place in the world. The sun's entry into your 10th house on the 22nd of July doesn't just offer warmth, it offers momentum. It brings clarity to the parts of your life where consistency and structure have been missing, and it sharpens your awareness of what's worth your time, your energy, and your long-term investment. This is a seeding period, but not in a dreamy, abstract sense. I'm talking about real seeds actions, applications, proposals, initiatives that can lead to tangible results in the months ahead. Whether you're considering launching a business, switching industries, or asking for more in your current role, this is the energetic climate that supports courage with stability. The efforts you begin now, no matter how small, carry the weight of long-term consequence. This is not about chasing temporary wins, it's about building roots that can hold up an entirely new structure of success. If you've been out of work, this period brings subtle but significant openings, but you'll need to meet them with movement. Opportunities will not chase you, you'll need to take that first step. Even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's humbling, the planetary alignment supports those who are willing to show up, even imperfectly. The job market may feel uncertain, but your timing is not. When the sun is this strategically placed in your chart, the universe isn't offering a handout, it's offering alignment. That means when you move, the ground beneath you shifts in your favor. For those of you in business, this is a strong window to expand, pivot, or reintroduce your brand or services with greater confidence and strategic clarity. You are not meant to shrink during this cycle. You're meant to lead, to organize, to restructure, starting with how you view your own worth. And beyond your personal efforts, there's also something happening collectively that you might be able to ride if you're alert. Economic indicators suggest movement in sectors like gold and cryptocurrency assets that thrive during cycles of transformation and uncertainty. I'm not telling you to gamble, but I am saying this. If you've been studying, researching, waiting for a green light, this might be your moment to act. Use your discernment. Use your Scorpio instincts. And remember, none of this is about overnight results. It's about setting yourself up for a long stretch of stability and impact. The seeds you plant now will not only grow, they'll reveal just how far you've come from the version of yourself that once hesitated to begin. Scorpio, as we move deeper into this cycle, we cannot talk about external success without addressing the inner terrain that shapes it. Because what you're building on the outside is always a mirror of what you're willing to integrate on the inside. And this week, the astrology invites you into a rare moment of internal alignment where mind, emotion, and energy begin to speak the same language. Most people move through life with these parts of themselves in conflict, thinking one thing, feeling another, are acting from a third. But when those elements finally sit at the same table and agree on a direction, something powerful begins to happen. You stop leaking energy. You stop chasing validation. You stop second-guessing every move. Instead, if you become the center of gravity in your own life, people start noticing without knowing why. Your presence sharpens. Your decision-making improves. Your path forward becomes quieter, clearer, and more efficient, not because the world suddenly got easier, but because you're no longer at war with yourself. This is also a time when emotional maturity becomes your greatest asset. That doesn't mean suppressing what you feel. It means knowing what to do with it. You're learning not to react out of fear or pain, but to pause, reflect, and respond with intention. That kind of emotional leadership is rare. It means you can walk into situations that used to unravel you and handle them with calm authority. It means you can see past the surface of other people's behavior and choose your role in the story. Your mind is clearer now, not because there are fewer questions, but because you're no longer afraid of not knowing everything. You understand that clarity often comes after action, not before it. So you move with grace, with steadiness, with the kind of inner confidence that can't be bought or borrowed. That's the foundation of true financial freedom, real success, and magnetic relationships. Not a life without challenges, but a life where you trust yourself to meet them. This is the energy you're stepping into now. Scorpio, no, a peak, but a profound alignment. And when these three forces, your intellect, your emotional intelligence, and your life force energy are finally moving together, you become unstoppable, not through force, but through coherence. You become the calm in the storm, the presence in the room that changes the tone, the voice people listen to, even when you speak softly. So don't rush this process. Sit with it. Let it shape you. Because the version of you that emerges on the other side is not just more capable, it's more whole. And that wholeness, that's where your real power lives. Now let's talk about relationships. Scorpio, not just romantic ones, but the full spectrum of connection. The people you trust, the ones who challenge you, and the bonds that have been quietly shifting beneath the surface. This week's astrology doesn't just open doors in your career or mind, it also reveals who belongs beside you in this next chapter of your life. And that clarity, while deeply liberating, you may come with its own set of truths you weren't expecting to face. Because when the sun illuminates the 10th house, it doesn't just shine on your ambition, it casts light on who supports it and who subtly drains it. This is the moment when your standards evolve, When your heart starts requiring more honesty, more consistency, and less confusion, not because you're being difficult, but because you've outgrown relationships that demand you shrink or guess your worth. For those of you in committed partnerships, this is a time to realign your shared vision. Are you still walking in the same direction? Or have your silent compromises led you to diverging paths? This isn't about dramates, about realignment. If the foundation is solid, this week brings a chance to recommit in a more grounded way. To have the conversations that move love from surface comfort to deeper purpose. If things have been strained, this is where tension either cracks or strengthens the connection. Depending on how both of you show up, don't force closeness where there's been neglect, but also don't assume distance means failure. Sometimes space is exactly what a relationship needs to remember what it values. And sometimes letting go is the most honest form of love you can give. For those who are single or navigating new dynamics, your emotional and intellectual alignment this week makes you more selective but also more magnetic. People will be drawn to your presence, your depth, your silence even, but not everyone who is attracted deserves access. You're learning to distinguish between curiosity and capacity, between interest and intention. It's not about building walls, it's about building doors with locks. Your heart is no longer available for patterns that repeat the same story of confusion or compromise. You're no longer willing to be half loved, half seen, half prioritized. This energy supports bold clarity, saying yes with your whole body, or saying no without guilt. So ask yourself, Scorpio ho, do you become in love when you're no longer performing for acceptance? What kind of intimacy becomes possible when your emotions and your mind are no longer at war? That's where you're headed now. Not toward perfect relationships, but toward truthful ones. And in that truth, in the right people will rise and the rest will fall away. Quietly and without needing explanation. Scorpio. Before we close, I want to speak to those of you who still feel lost in the fog, those who've heard the call of this moment but can't seem to move, who sense the shift yet feel paralyzed by self-doubt, by confusion, by wounds that haven't yet found their voice. If that's where you are right now, and you're not behind, you're just being invited to look deeper. Not everything can be healed through action. Sometimes what you need is understanding. And the clearest place to begin that process is your birth chart. Because not all Scorpios are experiencing this moment the same way. And if you're not thriving in this window of expansion, there is likely a specific reason coded into your personal chart, to your unique imprint of planetary positions. Your timing, your karmic lessons. This is not about blame. It's about clarity. When you understand how your chart is constructed, you stop comparing your pace to others. You stop wondering if you're broken. You start working with your energy, not against it. You learn where your delays are purposeful and where your power has been waiting to be reclaimed. This moment, this week, this cycle is not small. It is a turning point in your 2025 story. At the sun's entrance into your 10th house is a cosmic signal flare, a portal of energy wide open, waiting for you to walk through. For some, it may show up as a burst of momentum. For others, it's an invitation to course correct, to rewire old beliefs about worth and success. But either way, this energy doesn't come around lightly. It arrives to push you closer to the version of you that honors your gifts, protects your time, and stops apologizing for wanting more. Because you were never meant to play small. Not with this chart, not with this fire in your bones. So fasten your seatbelt. Scorpio, this isn't just a lucky streak, it's a divine intersection of timing and readiness. You've done the shedding. You've survived the void. Now it's time to step into the part of your life that holds shape, structure, recognition, and reward. This isn't about ego. It's about embodiment. Let success meet you where you've already arrived within yourself. And if you're not there yet, that's okay too. Just don't stop looking. Don't stop listening. The door is open. Whether you walk through it now or later is up to you. But make no mistake, your name is already on the other side. And so, Scorpio, as we close this week's journey together, I want you to remember, nothing that's meant for you will miss you, but you must still rise to meet it. The energies now are not passive. They are calling you to engage, to move with purpose, to trust your timing and trust your transformation. You've walked through fire before. You've rebuilt yourself in silence. And now, the universe is offering you the structure, the visibility, the foundation you've been preparing for. Even if you didn't know it until now, whatever part of your life feels uncertain, your work, your worth, and your relationships know that clarity is coming not through perfection, but through presence. Stay grounded, stay honest, and keep showing up, even when it's quiet, even when no one's watching. Because this is how success grows in Scorpio's life, not with noise, but with depth. You are already aligned with something bigger than yourself. Don't doubt that now. Thank you for walking with me. If this message spoke to something inside you, share it, save it, and come back to it whenever you forget who you are. Until next time, I'm Selena Hart, sending you strength, stillness, and the reminder that your power has never left you. It's just waiting for you to fully claim it.